Alright everyone, it's time for the Occult, video 147, Satanic Magic Part 1, as a mockery of Catholicism. This is going to cover sort of like the Church of Satan stuff. Part 2 will cover the more paganized aspect of self-proclaimed Satanism, and I don't want anyone jumping down my throat. I always have a couple people who are literal like Satan worshippers, theistic Satanists, jumping down my throat for calling the Church of Satan Satanists. That's the term that everyone uses for them. So I'm just going to go with the flow on that one. It doesn't really matter. I don't have any strong beliefs about who wears the mantle of true Satanism. It's just a bunch of bullcrap, honestly. But I made, in the past, I think a 4 or 5 part sort of mini-series on satanic magic. And it's outdated because when I made that, I was myself a Satanist. Later realized there were sort of multiple groupings within the trappings of the occult for Satanists. And so I'm going to get rid of that series, and this replaces it within the Occult playlist. It's just better organized. The old ones weren't as good. So as to Part 1, as a mockery of Catholicism or Christianity in general, when we're talking about the atheistic Satanists of the world, this is what I was in the past. When we're talking about the Church of Satan, similar groups, and a great many independent Satanists, the ritualism that you see there has nothing to do with taking Satan seriously. That is, there's no belief in an actual Satan as a deity or demon. There's no belief in demons per se in general. There's no belief in magic per se in general. These are mockery rituals. Essentially, they're meant to mock Christianity, and they are psychological in form. That is, it's sort of like administering a placebo to people. And the Church of Satan does this specifically, not just as a mockery, but as a realization that religion, organized religion, sells you a placebo. That is, you go to a Christian church, you go to a mosque or whatever, and you pray and you get blessed and all this stuff, and it's a placebo. Any action that it has upon your life is a placebo effect. That is, to the Church of Satan, there's no Christian God, there's no Islamic God, there's no Brahma, there's no Thor, there's no any of these things. They don't exist, and they're all superstitious hokum. But they still have their ritualism, and it still positively impacts people's lives. What the Church of Satan then does is substitute mocking rituals as though they were real as part of a psychological exercise, a destruction ritual, a destructive curse, administered by someone who is an atheistic Satanist, is not literally calling upon Satan to give a foe cancer. It's meant to prop up the ego of the person conducting the ritual so that in their own actions they can rise above that conflict and they can go forth and hopefully they have better outcomes in the future. They no longer feel that anger. Or maybe their foe drives themselves to destruction trying to compete with the person who has now been liberated from organized religion and is more able to see the world clearly. And that's really what atheistic Satanism is about. It's about mocking Christianity. It's about appropriating literally every part of their ritualism, inverting it to some degree, paganizing it in a few elements, and then releasing it as a mockery of religion that is really an above-board business, essentially, with the Church of Satan. And that's not the only atheistic group. You pay your money, you get your little red card, you maybe send off a few emails and talk about how great Satan is. But there's no actual Satan, and that's recognized within that group. They don't believe in such things. And as far as the spiritual trifecta goes, and we're talking about the atheistic side of Satanism, it is true atheism, that tends to be hard atheism. It is mostly anti-spiritual, although not entirely. As far as an academic study of folklore and magic, that's accepted. There's no problem with that within the Church of Satan. Going further and actually adopting those beliefs and habits would be frowned upon. As far as religion goes, it is technically a religious body, but not really. It's really more a practice in mocking irreligion. That is, that the Church of Satan is an above-board business entity. It is literally a corporation for legal purposes. It's not tax-exempt, and there are other satanic bodies that function in the same manner. Satanism, therefore, is really more of a religious anti-religion than anything else, and purely atheistic in form. The rituals they perform are not theism. There is no actual Satan being invoked. When that term is used, it's used in a mocking manner. So this is part 1. This only covers the atheistic side. I'll get into the several groups of theistic Satanists in part 2 in just a moment. That's about all. Peace out.